What up guys, Coppercrafter here. Today I'm coming at you with another commands for beginners. It's going to be a video off of world borders, which is pretty much to set a border around any certain area you want. Stick around to get hyped. So today, like I said, we're looking at the world borders command. It's pretty much a command that you can set a border around anything, like I just said. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the world border set command. So you do world border set and how big you want it to be going across. Now, before I begin this, remember that when you do the set of how big it's going across, it's not from a middle point counting outwards. It's literally how big it is across. So this would be, if I set it to 7, let's just say, this is how big the entire thing would be across. Just to let you all know so you don't get anything confused. So let's go over here. We're going to go ahead, world border set, and we're going to set it to, let's just say, 25 blocks across. Done. Click the button and there we go. Now there's some interesting properties about the world border. The world border has it to where you can't walk through it. You also have little red like tints that come around your screen when you're near it within a certain range, which we'll look at in a bit. You can't go near it or through it. But what you can do is take an ender pearl and you can ender pearl through it. So that's one interesting property of it. I just wanted to let you all know. And I'll get me a bunch of these for later on in the video. So that's the world border set command. You can set it to any size you want. You can set it to smaller. You can set it to, like, let's just say 15. That makes it even smaller. You can set it to 200. I don't know why you do that. I guess for a Hunger Games map. But now it's out of sight. You can also, let's go and set this to like 30. There's one interesting property with this to where you can set the how big you want it across and the amount of time it takes to get that big. So you do set, let's just say 20, and let's just say it takes 10 seconds to get to 20 blocks across. There we go. Now you'll notice that it will be, gotta click this. Now you'll notice it's moving inwards. You'll notice it's like shrinking on us. And that's what Mineplex uses for their world border. It's pretty helpful, and then it'll turn back to its normal color once it's done. There we go. So that's an interesting property for the set command. You can set how much time it takes to get that big. So let's just say 20 seconds to get to 40 blocks away. So there we go. Now you'll notice it'll turn greenish tint whenever it's moving away from you as a good sign. So you'll notice it's shrinking outwards and so forth. So that is the set command for the world border. The next command we're going to be looking at is the add command, which is pretty much just like the set command, except you're adding whatever you have to the current world border. So you have the add, and we're going to say add 10 blocks to the world border. Done. Click that, and it made it 10 blocks bigger than before. And you can also, I believe you can minus 10. Let me see. There we go. You minus 10 from the world border. You can also work it the same way to where you can do the time it takes to get that big. So let's just do 10 seconds to minus 15. There we go. So it'll take 10 seconds to remove 15 blocks from the world border, the current world border. There we go, and it should turn to its normal color when it is done. There we go. Now it's all safe again. Next command we're also going to look at is going to be the warning command. Now the warning command, here's how this warning command works. Okay, so you have the time, which is pretty much, alright, let's just do 10. I'll explain this in a second. So here's how the time command works. Pretty much a time command is when the world border is shrinking or growing, which we learned with the add or set command. When it is shrinking or growing, this is the time it takes that it'll get to you. So pretty much, let's just say the world border, it's going to take 11 seconds to get to you. You won't see any tint whatsoever. But once it gets to 10 seconds until it reaches you, you'll have a warning that comes up, which is pretty much going to be the tint that's all around your screen. So that's what the time command is. So that's what it does. You can hit that. There we go. The next we have the distance command. This is how far away it'll take until you can see the warning when walking near the world border. So let's just say 4 blocks. There we go. So once I get to right here, I'll see the tint. And there we go. I can kind of see a little reddish tint. You can see at the top right of my screen it's kind of red compared to normal. So it's 4 blocks away until that tint shows up, and then blah blah blah. And we can actually see 1 block away until you get the tint. So you won't see the tint until you're 1 block away from it. Ready? So nothing at the moment. Nothing. Now right here. Once we're one block away from it, then you see the 10. So that is the distance command. The next command we're going to look at, I believe, is the damage command. So world border damage, and here's the thing. Remember how I said you can ender pearl outside the world border? Well, this is specifically what that's for. First off, you have the damage and you have the buffer. The buffer command is pretty much how far away you can be from the outside of the world border to where you don't get hurt. So let's just say buffer 5. Okay? So game mode S. So I can be 5 blocks outside the world border to where I don't start taking damage. So I ender pearl, so of course I'm going to take damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can be right here and not take any damage. But once I step onto this block right here, I will start losing health. You ready? There we go. I'm losing health. Alright? So that is what the damage command, or buffer command, does under the damage command. It pretty much says, alright, you can be within this radius of the world border and not take damage. It also works with the corners as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can be right here, step right there, I start taking damage. So, game mode C, there we are. The next command we're going to look at is going to be the damage. So, we already looked at the buffer command. That's how far outside the world border you can be before you start taking damage. The next thing we're going to look at is the amount. This is how many hearts you get taken away from you and once you get outside the buffer zone. So, we're going to do 20. There we go. I had to click the button. Oops, forgot that. And I got to ender pearl outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's see how many hearts I get taken away when I step here. You'll notice it drains almost every one of my hearts. Don't set it to 20, whatever you do. If you want to live after stepping outside the world border, do not set the hearts to 20. Game mode, I just realized how much damage that actually takes away. So, this part right here, the amount command under damage, says how many hearts it will take away once you step outside the buffer zone. And the buffer is how many blocks away you can be from the outside of the world border until you start taking damage. The next command we're going to be looking at is the center command. Now, I'm getting actually simpler commands at the very end of the video. I don't know why, but I'm doing it. So, the center command pretty much centers the world border at whatever coordinates you want. So, we're going to do world border center, and then we're just going to hit tab and tab to get the commands of this block right here. And it centers the world border right around this block. And there we go. Now we can get it back to where we want it. So we can center it by clicking on this command block right here and typing in center again. And this should center it right around the, oops, I gotta type in the tildes to give it the coordinates. There we go. Now the world border is centered right back at this command block because we use the tildes, which if you don't remember from the last video means that wherever this object that you're using it from is pretty much the coordinates that you're going to use. So that is the center command for the world border. And lastly, I want to do the get command. And I'm not going to do this in the command block because it's just too much of a hassle, so forget about that now. The get command pretty much gets how big across your world border is. So we do world border get, and it says is currently 25 blocks wide. So we can do world border set again. We can set it to 50 blocks. And do the get command, and it says world border is currently 50 blocks wide. That is the last command I have for y'all, and that's the world border command. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this also helped you with the world border command, because I was sure confused when I first learned about this command, but now I hope I've helped you all and shed some light on what you can do with this. It is a truly cool command for map making, and I hope you use it to its full potential. Thank you all for watching this video, and remember to subscribe, like this video, and also comment on the next command you'd like to see. And yeah, stick around for some more awesome videos. Stay hyped, y'all. Peace.